Now we're gonna go into another one that had its own ups and downs, peaks and valleys, as they may say. We are talking about the king of Cinco de Mayo, Saul Canelo Alvarez. The Cinnamon Man is back again, doing his inaugural. This is annual Cinco de Mayo showcase. The pride of Mexico. Where is he from? Guadalajara, Mexico. I'm doing my Bruce Buffer, but salute to Canelo. He did what he did, fellas. How overwhelmed? I mean, so how underwhelmed or under? Okay, what was your expectations on this one, and what were the results? Is what I'm trying to reach at.
Well, Canelo's lazy in his old age.
He's slow of foot.
He was versing William Skull.
Yeah, man. I mean,
as we come to learn,
school needs to go back to school. Cause this was probably one of the more frustrating. This was a little bit more frustrating than the Devin Haney fight because these were two champions. This was a championship fight, right? Air quotes. Championship fight that gave us zero entertainment, zero intrigue. Nothing interesting about this fight happened except the amount of punches that were landed. It was ridiculous. I mean, William Skull, he might have ruined his career with this fight. And regardless of him maybe scoring during these rounds, no one wanted to see him win because no one wants to see him fight again. If that's the way you want to win, we not gonna give it to you. Thank the judges for not giving William Skull some of these rounds, which technically he could have been scored and winning some of these rounds. If we just want to be honest with it, but we don't want to see him no more because we know what it looks like when we see someone that is boxing, using the ring, being artful, being crafty versus someone that's in the ring to survive and to get a check. We've seen this with one of the Charlos.
Mm-hmm.
We saw this with Berlanga.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's sickening at this point. We have to put proper blame on Canelo for one, not cutting the ring off, and two, taking fights where people aren't going to fight you, because there are guys out there that will fight you. And instead of fighting Benavidez, we're going to get Terrence Bud Crawford instead. So
now, Berlanga has come out and said this was recent. Berlanga came out and said he was injured and he took on that fight.
Yep.
He had a shoulder injury.
Now, boxer probably has a little bit of shoulder injury going into a fight. I've heard it so many times. So, man,
okay. All right.
Shut,
fair enough. I really don't want to talk about it. I mean, Shakur Stevenson came out and said that if School's the A side, he probably wins that fight.
Yeah, and we're still frustrated. And he's right though.
What's right? Let's look at the Devin Haney fight.
Right. You know what's crazy is
correct. No, you have a great point there.
I think what annoyed me about this the most is not the actual fight, but it's the lead up. The lead up is School, from Scotland or whatever, Cuban European fighter, Cuban style. We know what a Cuban style is. I'm envisioning a guy who's 3 feet taller than Canelo, 4 feet bigger, stronger guy than Canelo. These workouts, they're leading up to, he's a Cuban fighter. He's, pedigree, amateur career, with all that stuff, all that yada, 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 yada. And then I watched the fight and I'm like, this guy's a track star. This guy, he's a runner, he's a track star. And it got so blatant that this guy's going in for that check, where all the things that I scouted him to do, which is good jab, good in and out fighter, it did not happen. And dude was nothing from the scouting, nothing from what the commentators wanted. what's happening. So dude was he wasted everybody's time. Like you said, Cam, OLT. Somebody said that he's just killed his appeal to for the boxing fan, especially the casual who will not understand hitting and moving like that. They will not want to see that guy headline ever again. And if the fans don't want that, you know what's happening. Turkey must make the fans happy. So.
And so we all, going into this, we all understood that this was going for undisputed, 2 times undisputed, even though the IBF stripped and gave the belt to School.
Yeah.
It sets up for the officially announced fight against Terrence Crawford for September 12th, which we all anticipated that deal was done. So September 12th for undisputed. We know that. Okay. But then is where the interesting part with Canelo's new contract comes into play, because he's slated following for February 2026 and then October 2026, where he comes off schedule, right? He goes away from the Cinco de Mayo and then Mexican Independence Day in September. So it's shaping up for obviously Terrence Crawford. And so February 2026, we anticipate the winner of the Bivol Better BF trilogy. And I'm thinking that it's Canelo hoping for Bivol to avenge the blemish on his record, and he can challenge for undisputed at 175. And then the following fight, October 2026, backtracking a little bit here, because we got to understand that everything is on purpose. And why is somebody sitting center ringside for Eubank versus Ben? Because Canelo wants on his bucket list a fight in a European stadium. And so it looks like Chris Eubank Jr. can deliver, because we've seen a full stadium for Chris Eubank Jr. And it looks like that's going to be potentially the dance partner October 2026 who can deliver Canelo the item on his bucket list.
Oof. And that means that and I really can see that timeline. So does that mean Canelo retires without facing a Mr. David Benavidez?
Yeah, he's already said that.
He already said he's not going to give him an opportunity.
So yes, 100%.
Canelo already died. He doesn't mess with dude. And he said, I'm not going to give him the opportunity. So like Canelo like legit said, I'm giving charity. I'm helping people. I'm helping fighters. But I'm not helping David. Okay. What did dude do to you? I don't know what he did to you.
Right. Yeah. Just be great. That's all. Challenge is greatness. But hey, if the fans decided to clamor loud enough, things could change, because a Eubank fight does nothing for his legacy if it lines both of their pockets. It would be a spectacle. Not to say that I would not be interested in seeing that Canelo in the UK, but we're interested in seeing great fighters fight other great fighters that leave us lasting memories that we can go back and rewatch and debate over and analyze and pick apart. Canelo is running from that opportunity to fulfill fight fans' dream. So calling it now. If fight fans want to see this fight, you got to get a little bit. There is a contract agreement for multiple fights with Turkey. So that gives fight fans plenty of time to get their pitchforks, get their Twitter fingers, whatever they got to do, their podcast microphones, and clamor for the Canelo Alvarez versus David Benavidez. We've seen fighters go back on their word before, but this needs to happen. Needs to happen.
Cam, either an A or a B to Chris Eubank. I think Chris Eubank has taken the lead on this, but a second fiddle, maybe Hamza Shiraz, who is a Berlanga opponent. You see what I'm saying? Nothing in boxing is coincidental. Everything is intentional. Hamza Shiraz, this is another guy that I can see them.
They want to build him up so bad. They want to build him up so bad, but if he goes out against Berlanga and puts another lackluster performance, he might not be that guy.
Yep.
He just may not be that guy, and we'll see. You know, we'll see how he fares against Berlanga.
And so it's become evident that Canelo wants lackluster opponents. Bruno Saras eliminated himself from this conversation. So Jaime Muguia re-enters the chat, unfortunately. Other candidates for this comeback fight were Christian Mbili and Jamal Charlo. So
Christian Mbili. The Canadian?
Oh, man, he was supposed to fight Pacheco. Pacheco decided to fight McCumbee.
So, I mean, I'm just giving you the scope of potentials that the camp had their eyes on. But I really think it's going to come down to Bivol 2026 rematch, Undisputed, and then Eubank Jr. for the bucket list stadium fight. He's got to, and then he's got to finish. He's got to have a retirement match back home, right? So yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Just bring anybody out for that.
Imagine we're projecting 3 fights out here, 2 fights out here.
How old is Eubank Jr.? Is he like 37, 36?
He's up there. 34. He may be the same age actually as Canelo.
No, yeah, he's also ticking. He's been around for a while. So
one thing though, after a Terrence Crawford fight, what type of product or what type of camp can a Canelo have to be ready for the next fight and the next fight after that? Because you potentially fight a Bivol or a Beterbiev. You better hope it's Bivol. You better hope Terrence Crawford is going to hit him. He's going to be touched in this fight. And let's say if he does, right, Beterbiev decides he wants to win one more time. Beterbiev is he a Mack truck, and he's not going to dance around the ring. So like Bivol will do a little bit of moving, but I don't think those just aren't great matchups for him.
Yeah,
he's one of those guys.
You don't want to go through a war in your last days of fighting. Like you just don't want to. You don't want to
start having like old man injuries. Like, just
you want to breeze through, do your Kobe farewell in peace. You want to do a Kobe farewell on a playoff game, man.
That old man injury is around the corner fighting these guys. Terrence Crawford, Bivol or Beterbiev, and then if we get loud enough, we can get a Benavidez to be entertained. It's just it's on the fight.
The funny part is we are talking to Canelo like he's old man injury, but Beterbiev is older than everybody. Beterbiev is clocking 40 here. Like,
look, he's ready for 15-round fights though.
At that way, you don't know any better. Like, he's just gonna go hard. Like, you don't want to go to those, those war sessions with a guy like that. But I mean, Canelo, man, he's the golden goose, man. Everybody wants him, so he's just like. He's like that pretty girl that everybody just wants, their time. No pause. Or like I was gonna say, yeah.